Hello everyone, it's another bright, beautiful day. It is finally stopped raining here all the time, so that the sun is shining, and what better thing to do on such a day than to go play some Elder Scrolls Online in the comfort of my own home, under some blankets, and ignore any kind of physical activity. I'm Steven Strum, as usual. This is the last, I believe, video for the Elder Scrolls Online for GameZebo for the review diary. Today I'm going to be talking about the story and storytelling, which you can obviously go read the written portion of at the website if you're watching this on YouTube. And you can go check out the other parts of the video on the website or on YouTube, or other parts of the review diary, rather, not other parts of the video. There are other videos. Anyway, I'm just going to check out this main quest right now that I got. You can see all these different, in the Elder Scrolls Online, everything's kind of broken up into different kinds of quests. You can have guild quests, you can be part of 5 different guilds at a time. I don't know why there's a cap on that, and you can't just be a part of every guild, like in every Elder Scrolls. It seems strange, but the one that we are concerned with right now is the main story. So I hit level 10 recently, and during that time, a vision, a hologram type thing of the blind dude, I forget, the Prophet, I think is all they call him, showed up and told me, hey, come check out my sweet pad again, which is called the Harborage. So I'm going there right now to go check him out. That would be the Prophet right there. He is not Raiden from Mortal Kombat, just for the record. You know, white hair, white eyes, magical powers. Still not Raiden. As it has been explained to me, despite many similarities that this game holds to the Mortal Kombat franchise, I feel, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I actually have a soft spot for the Mortal Kombat story. You gotta respect a game that can use the term Soulnado, non-ironically. It seems to be glitching out pretty well down here. Good on you, Elder Scrolls. It was working fine 2 seconds ago. There's my electric mace with no texture. There it goes. It's popping back in. Texture pop-in, definitely a problem in this game. It's weird because generally speaking, these instance areas actually run better than the main game, but there is definitely a problem with frame rate every once in a while in this game. Just for the most random of reasons. I'm just going to explore a little bit here before I go talk to him. Just that part of my video game lifestyle refuses to let me enter a new place without checking every nook and cranny for something useful. But yeah, okay. This is a storytelling video, not exploration. There we go.
It is good to see you, and I do see you in my own way. You're a wound in time, a tear.
So I actually think the voice acting on this guy specifically is pretty good. I think he's some kind of, like, known actor. Bethesda definitely likes to just pull in random movie and television actors kind of for little reason, it seems to me. Like, I don't really understand the draw of that. I don't always necessarily feel like the actors they pull translate well into video game voice acting booth recording.
In the scrolls long ago, it is entwined with the fate of the 5 companions. I have finally located Lilith Titanfall.
So, the 5 companions are some group of dudes who were with the Emperor of some place, Cyrodiil maybe, and Lyris Titanborn is this woman, half-giant, who seemed to be normal size to me, but everybody calls her something like that. Everybody seems to think that she's really, really tall, although she looks about the same size as my character. She let herself get captured in this alternate dimension, which is not called Outworld, that is trying to merge with ours, called Cold Harbor, which is actually, I think that's a good name. It's a good fantasy hellscape name. And I think we're going to go rescue her pretty soon here. I don't know what it is about the character models in this game as opposed to the other games, but for some reason they seem better than previous Elder Scrolls games. I still don't necessarily like that we just get this, like, shoomp every time you talk into talking to somebody, like, just lock on to this person and, like, just stare at their entire body while they make idle animations. Open the gates. So yes, I am going to rescue her.
You are important. The scrolls have so need you. After
For somebody who seemed to be in a hurry, my character always has follow-up questions for just about everybody. Which is a little bit funny in the way they present the world. It's very much like, alright, I will go and save the village, but first, tell me about the history of this region. Toils endlessly, yeah.
My mind many times during my imprisonment. It was a tortuous experience, but by forcing his way into my mind, we are connected, he and I.
Sorry to skip you over your talk, Prophet Raiden.
He feels
Your
my
Holiness.
presence, and it fills him with rage. When you enter the foundry to recover Lyrus, I can keep his attention focused on me. He will be blind to you. It will be a far greater danger for you to enter Coldheart.
Like most Elder Scrolls characters who have well-known actors doing the voices, I've got a feeling that this guy is going to die, and they are not dissuading me from that opinion. It's a pretty easy way to get your Patrick Stewarts from having to do too much work if they just show up at the very beginning and then immediately get ganked by a demon. Distract him. So it sounds like he's going to put himself in some trouble here, which seems kind of foolish considering this character, Lyrus Titanborn. Good teleport animation, Elder Scrolls. She sacrificed herself, or her freedom, I guess, to save this guy. So if this guy is just going to sacrifice himself to save her, yeah. It's pretty typical fantasy storytelling type stuff. It's, like I said, it reminds me quite a bit of like Mortal Kombat's 1 through 3. There's a bad guy who's stealing souls, Shang Tsung, if you will. That is how I refer to him in my own head. And he's doing it for his evil demon lord, who's not Shao Kahn, so that guy can, steal, or no, not steal. He's not looking to steal anything as far as I know. He wants to merge this hellscape with Earth, or not Earth, Nirn, I think it's called in the Elder Scrolls. Yeah, woof, frame rate. It seems to always be worse when you just enter a new area for the first time, and then it just seems to even out over time, which I think I've explained over the course of a few of these videos. Dremora Caitiff. I don't know what that means. A lot of great nonsense fantasy words and titles. Like Dremora. I mean, if you know Elder Scrolls at all, you're probably going to recognize most of this stuff. I mean, I certainly recognize the term Dremora. I thought you were in an inescapable prison cell thing.
You're alive.
Yeah, this is Jennifer Hale.
Are you really here?
The namesake of my character, which I thought was pretty funny. Naming my character Jennifer Hale, and then the first voice actor I encounter in the game, or one of the first ones, I guess, is Jennifer Hale. That amused me. I'm pretty easily amused. Am I like inside of her mind or something?
Thank the gods. But you can't stay. You have to leave before you
I'm
don't
not leaving without you,
understand.
Lyrus Titanborn. I met you for 2 minutes once.
To me. I can't leave. It's hard to describe. My memories, my feelings, they've been fragmented.
Oh, cool.
Daedra took everything.
Fetch quests.
Willpower, my courage, my sense of self. I'm an empty shell. And the fragments are reflections of my worst fears.
So we're going to reduce this character's emotional arc and personality to a fetch quest that we can collect. Cool. Yeah, the storytelling in the game seems to mostly follow that arc where it's just like, hey, go to this place, collect this stuff, these magical objects, or whatever, so that we may fight evil better. Oh, oops, sorry. It's a lot of that, and it just does not amuse me in the slightest. Like, specifically, it seems kind of strange that, like, after coming off of Skyrim, where the Daedric princes, the big bads, are basically all just side quests where you can get a sweet weapon or a helmet or something. There's a fireball following me, I guess. I don't know. God, this game is so sometimes is parts of this game just feel kind of unfinished. Like that stuff like that just happens with such alarming frequency. Yeah, and then like a lot of the times when you get to these places and you collect these things, like some weird holographic and magical animation will play that you can see. I've got a feeling that's what's going to happen here too.
I think he blamed me for my mother's death. I ran off to become a mercenary when I was 16. I never saw my father again. He was murdered by an old enemy. Father? Papa,
Yep,
is that you?
that seems to be the status quo for this game.
You bastard! Die like the monster you are.
Okay. Hello, actual dude that just popped out of nowhere.
Mind and soul are already ours.
Okay, good to see my spell that I cast 30 seconds ago finally go off. And, oh, nope. Yep. There we go. And click this guy some more. Alright. Talk to
Who are you?
this dude.
Why does Lyris walk with you?
Okay, that voice does not seem to fit that that big bearded face.
In life, I was Gyalda, father to Lyris.
Experience my own murder again and again. I might try to-
But I don't understand. Lyris was always a free spirit. Why would I? Lyris, is it true?
She blames herself for. It's good that I have such a deep understanding of this character. I have had 33.5 minutes worth of interaction with. I'm just gonna check my mail while you guys are doing that. That's cool. I'm sure it's more spam. Spam, yes. Spam, yes. Spam, yep. Perfect. I would delete the player, but I just cannot be bothered. Delete the player. Report the player for spam.
See, when I looked at you, I saw her face. I loved her, child, just as I love you, more than life itself. You cannot change the past, nor should we cling to it. You must not let these feelings haunt you. Let them go. Let me
Lyris is one of those 5 companions that seems to be important to the overall plot. Like something about, again, the Emperor. This game is shockingly similar to the plot of Oblivion, which I did not find terribly entertaining either. Just replace Oblivion gates with cold chains, cold harbor chains, whatever they're called, and you basically have that exact thing. There's a Emperor that gets betrayed by somebody. Assuage. Here's his solitude. Assuage. Assuage? Here's his grieves. I'm going to fix her solitude by collecting her pants.
I bet the commander makes her run 50 laps this time. Let's hope the beast keeps on flashing. Alright, let's get back to
Oh. Here, I brought you some leather. Stop being so lonely.
I can't believe it. This armor is who I am. It's what I am. A warrior without her armor is like a bear without claws.
Suit up. Alright. Sounds like something
I'm ready.
fantasy character would say in like medieval times. Sure. Suit up. Put it on. The last breastplate you'll ever wear. She does look kind of badass now, though. I'll give her that. I like the armor design in this game. That is one thing I will get behind. At least I like the Nord armor design because it's all Viking-y, although hers is more traditionally, I don't know, British. What's the term I'm looking for? Like, I keep wanting to say like, or I don't know, Anglo-Saxon maybe. I don't know if that's actually the right thing to say. Hey, watch out for those rocks. Kill this demon with me. Hey, come help me. Yeah, the difficulty in this game seems to be also very strange. Yeah, thanks for just standing there, Lyris. Come on, Jennifer. Follow Jennifer. There are times when, like this, like all these characters are set to level 10 and they seem pretty ridiculously easy for demons and stuff like that, but I'm on another quest that, that says that I should be able to complete it like 3 levels ago, and it's just this like thief guy in a house, and every time I try to fight him, he just whoops me, like Will Smith in Wild Wild West against, oh, I forget who played Loveless in that movie, but there's that line about a whooping.
Don't be a fool, Titanborn. I'm trying to help you. Your hatred poisons you.
Abner Thorn, do not know who this is.
When you lose your temper,
You betrayed us all and went back to licking Money Marco's boot before the smoke cleared.
I did what I had to do. And as a show of my good intentions, I have left. But be warned, Cold Harbor will not give it up easily.
Is that... Sure as bones it is. Vestige, that's my battle axe.
I actually kind of like Lyris. Part of that is just because it's Jennifer Hale, and I tend to like Jennifer Hale in games. I think she's a fine voice actor. Commander Shepard and all. It's just like how infinitely banal this fantasy world is. Just really makes it difficult to sympathize and empathize with characters. It's got everything from your fake racism stand-in, like in this case I believe it is the Dark Elves do not like the Lizard Men. Hey, knock him off. Do something. He's eating me! Stuff like that. It's not that that stuff is bad to have in games and stuff. It's just like something that has been done 100 times better in something like The Witcher that actually like deals with real consequences to those actions. Whereas in here, and especially in an MMO, like you're not actually changing anything or seeing anybody else make changes around you.
Good to have you back. Are you thirsty for Daedric blood, old friend?
Okay, I kind of do like this character.
My axe. Oh, it feels good to have it back. It's part of me. I don't know. I don't trust him and I never will. It's odd. Blind hatred I felt when I saw him better. Stronger. Almost whole again. That's strange. I feel powerful enough to take on Umaril the Unfeathered himself. I feel we're not done yet. We need to keep moving forward. The passage is blocked.
Let's check it out. Another really good fantasy phrase. Let's check it out. Suit up so we can check it out.
Pebbles is gonna stop me now.
Alright, sure. I don't even have something to say about that. That was pretty good.
Daedric beasties, so little time. We need to keep moving.
Yeah. So here's something new. I've never seen one of these before. Not even in the other games, although maybe I just didn't play enough of those games. Oblivion was the one that seemed to be more concerned with like demon-y stuff, and I didn't play a ton of Oblivion. Didn't really amuse me very much. I think I've said that like 4 times now, that something didn't amuse me, entertain me. Okay, this seems like it might be a little annoying. Let's try getting this one out of here first. You seem squishier. Ba-ba-ba. So, yeah, I don't know. This seems to be about the extent of the game in terms of storytelling and stuff like that. It's a lot of, like I said, walk to this place, go hear this conversation. They will probably tell you to go collect some magical artifact, and maybe at some point, like, a in-world cutscene will play that is expressed through blue hologram people. Nothing. It's kind of toothless for my tastes for fantasy. Like something like The Witcher is more has already expressed that like you can do fantasy in a video game and do it maturely. Not to say that The Witcher is always super mature. It has problems like with specifically with gender roles and issues like that. And then like even in outside of just fantasy in general, like MMOs, I think have done stuff that is much better. Like The Secret World, kind of proved that you can do a really mature story, and that is a fantasy game. Granted, it is a fantasy game set in the modern day. It is not like being expressed through a existing franchise, but I just feel like there is better out there, and like we don't necessarily have to settle for the rest when we've got the best. I'm probably gonna finish this quest here, but I don't know what else to say about it other than everything that I've already said. Hopefully it doesn't go on for too much longer now. Usually once you get to like Cold Harbor and places like this, there seem to always be like some kind of boss in these big giant chambers like this. I fought on my first time here. I fought like a big giant skeleton man.
Laris, I can see you. Are you really there?
It's me.
Seems to be some problems with like the audio syncing on these characters, where like this character will speak over another character. Like Lyris has been doing that a few times here. I actually think that's something that should happen more in video games. It seems a little bit weird to me that characters like never seem to interrupt each other, and there never really seems to be good syncing when they're meant to be interrupting each other.
We'll find you.
That said, this game does not seem to be doing it intentionally. It seems to be more of a bug.
No! Bring him back, you bastards!
Mm-hmm.
That was no trick. That was Sai Sahan. Sai's a friend. You're my best friend. We need to find him and get him. We need to tell the Prophet about this. He'll know what to do. But first, we need to find a way out of here.
And it's a little bit upsetting because there's some like moments of spectacle in this game that seem kind of okay. Partially they are a little bit let down by the fact that like this game is just so drab. Like every area seems to be composed entirely of two colors. Like here it seems to have a very gray-blue aesthetic going on. You go back into Morrowind and everything is very much brown. Even colors that are brighter seem sort of like weirdly muted by, I don't know, some kind of filter over this game. Like I just don't know what it is, and it's just hard to really get into like any particular area when it just looks so dull. Not to say that like graphics are the most important part of this or anything like that, but just like it's bereft of personality, and that's kind of like the whole story in general. And this whole personality, the whole presentation. There's just no personality to it that I can really determine. Nothing that really sets it apart from anything else in any way, or like even sets one area apart or one sequence apart from another within the game itself.
It's all coming back. I have to push through this.
Seem like important things to just be sitting in very missable crates. Vanquish Lyris' terror. Okay, yeah, here's that boss I was expecting, I'm sure. There's some clanking noises. Yeah, see, stuff like this that looks okay. That's your manifestation of terror, huh? Pretty sure I fought one of those in Morrowind at some point. Generally speaking, these boss fights and the main story seem to be sort of scripted in such a way that I won't have too much of a problem completing it. When I fought the boss here before, the Prophet dude just sort of healed me every time I was like getting low on health. It very much feels like you're supposed to just kind of walk through the main story stuff. side content gets a little bit more difficult, and sometimes like, and actually it's just kind of a, hey dudes, it's kind of a like representative of one of the biggest problems of this game, in that there is no information on anything to ever kind of give any indication of why something works better than another thing, why I'm losing, why I'm dying. Like my mace, for example, here, like I know it does more damage than my last mace did, like just on basic, or basically, but it's also enchanted with electricity, and I don't know how much more damage that electricity does, or why I want electricity instead of fire, or if it's worth enchanting it at all, or if physical damage is just more important.
Like I've been reborn. We need to rescue Sai. Then we've got a world to serve.
It's just very bereft of any kind of like information at any point. Like, I'm not a big fan of hand-holding. I think that it works, like such a thing works very well in something like Dark Souls. Dark Souls being one of my favorite franchises. But here, it like there's nothing gained from just not telling you anything. Like, this is not that kind of game. It just feels like they forgot to add a bunch of stuff, and that whole sense pervades through it. I'm actually kind of curious how this game is actually going to end, considering like a lot of this story stuff seems tied into a lot of like the group PvE content and stuff like that, so it's not like we can just be the Dragonborn and free the world from danger, because that would cut out a significant chunk of the game.
My mind from the Daedra's control.
Thank the divine. Your loss would have thrown all into chaos.
They won't take me again. Not alive, at least. Prophet, Marco captured Sai Sahan. He's torturing him to
Wonder
find
what
where the amulet
Flute
is.
looks like in first person.
We have to rescue him.
Yeah. Alright. Okay, never mind everything I said. Game of the year 2014, first person Flute. Oh man. Some parts of this game really do tickle me. I've been through a lot. Please give me some more exposition. Saw projection of blah blah.
I thought he had firmly aligned himself with
Metamarco and his worm cult. Curious, sir? Curious, sir.
curious.
It's a good line, guys.
The amulet's misuse ripped off the barrier that protects Tamriel from the forces of oblivion. For now you must leave me to my meditation. I must set my mind to the task of locating Sai.
Okay.
Until then, embrace the unknowable. Perhaps it was simply arrogance. Perhaps it was all part of his grand scheme. Who can know the logic of it?
So yeah, that's the Elder Scrolls Online's content, like story content for the most part. That's pretty good representation. Actually, oh yeah, stamina, something I almost never use. Great. So yeah, it's sort of boring. The whole game kind of is that way. There are parts of it that I definitely like. I'm going to be doing. This is the last part of the. This is the last of the review diaries that I'm doing. You'll get my full review pretty soon, but know that there are parts of this game that are really cool. The exploration stuff with the collecting, ore and things like that, and then feeding into the alchemy and creation type stuff. All super cool, super fun, super engaging. It's just that it feeds into something that I don't find very interesting, which is partially the fault of the story and partially the fault of the fact that the combat could be a lot better if the game just felt more finished. Like if it felt like at all times I could expect my fireball spell to go hit the enemy that I intended to, where instead of like I will do the animation and then suddenly the fireball will project itself out of thin air 30 seconds later. That's not good. There's just a very floaty sense to it at all. But yeah, so that'll just about do it for me on the Elder Scrolls Online. Like I said, you can watch the rest of the video parts on YouTube or on GameZebo.com. You can check out the written portions on GameZebo.com. That's where we get all of our traffic. That's where you can help support us and everything like that. But other than that, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you've watched the previous ones, and thank you for watching those as well. And goodbye.